Hey guys, welcome back to Black, White, and the Grays. It has been like months. I recorded that last video in October. It is 2 days before Christmas. No, 3 days. What is today? Today's the 22nd of December. And I am in my kitchen. I thought it'd be fun to bring you along because this is kind of, it's gonna start going into the series that I started doing last winter. And that's doing stuff with our raw milk. We are still milking our cow. We have a couple more months until we dry her off until she gives birth. So you want to dry them off like a couple months before they have their baby so that they have like energy to... Drying off is essentially just letting them not have any more milk, so they put all of their energy into their babies. I am inside baking up a storm. There's going to be a mess behind me as I am not a very clean baker. The mess just goes. But it is a snowy, cold day. Today was supposed to be a high of 27. I don't think it got above 5. It feels like negative 15 or something crazy. It's a cold one, guys. And my boys are currently outside. They got the golf cart stuck. They pull a sled behind it and take turns pulling each other around the property. Our ice rink is the best one yet this year. I think I have some footage of that. I'll put in at the end of the video of us building it. It's so awesome. It's amazing. And it's the first year, I think, Lord willing, we're going to be able to use it for our annual Christmas Eve party. And I am about to make my first baked good with my homemade butter from my cow. So I want to show it to you. At the beginning of this video, you saw a clip of me making the butter, which was my first time making butter, and I couldn't believe it. And this is actually my second batch of butter, and it's gorgeous. It's a lot more yellow than I thought it would be. It is beautiful. I'm just getting it up to room temperature because I'm actually going to be making some Scottish shortbread cookies, and the recipe calls for the best butter you can find, and I figured this is probably the best butter anybody can find. I'll bring Yoa down here with me. And what is awesome is I actually had too much butter for the recipe. That's right. I make it in my KitchenAid, and I've made it a few times now where I can hear when it's turning into butter and I know it's time to switch it out. So I just made some thumbprint cookies, not with my own butter, but I did make it with my own strawberry rhubarb jam preserves. And some of them, I think I put them in the fridge for 30 minutes, but it's kind of warm in the house because our wood stove is really cranking right now, and they kind of spread out. This is my first time making them, and I believe this is one of my favorite Christmas cookies. It's so good. And the tartness of our own and sort of the freshness of summer with our own strawberry rhubarb preserves, which this year I couldn't get it to thicken up, so it's kind of runnier than I would like, but it's thick enough where it stays on your bread, toast, or your biscuit, and stayed in the cookies, and some of them turned out absolutely beautiful. And they're so good, guys. I thought I made enough for before Christmas Eve, and I don't think I did, so I'm gonna make a bunch. But I thought it would be fun to show you making my shortbread cookies. This because I'm using my own butter, and there will be a video coming the next time I have enough milk to make butter. There's enough milk to skim off the cream to make butter. I will show you my process. It's very, very simple, and it's silly to watch it do it, but I have a cream separator, a big fancy one, but I have not been using that because just a lot of tools you have to get out unnecessarily, and I know that now because I've done this a few times, and I feel confident enough to show you this really just stupid simple way of doing it. So I got myself a cocktail. Some people like wine. This is just a cran vodka, local vodka, not local cranberries. My kitchen is not set up for filming. I don't have like an island or anything. It's a weird corner that I do my baking in. This is my second time making shortbread in my life, and it's been this Christmas. The first recipe I used was an Americanized recipe that called for powdered sugar, and this recipe specifically said do not use powdered sugar. You have to use baker's sugar, or they used a different name for Scottish terms, but if you didn't have that, they said to put it in your food processor and blend it down to make really fine sugar, which there is definitely, this is exactly what I did, and there's definitely a difference between, I couldn't find baker's sugar, so I just am doing the food processor. It seems to be working marvelously, so we'll figure it out. And this is going to be a treat. My father loves shortbread. We both have Scottish roots and we love our Scottish shortbread. So I'm hoping this hits the spot for him since he hasn't been to Scotland in some time. I've yet to make it to Scotland, and I'm making my own with my own butter. Yeah. Let's get my hair back a little bit. Oh, I got a little pal for you. You remember Ping Pong? Here's Ping Pong. He's so cute and dapper. We had to get him a bell because he likes to be underfoot. Now you have to what? Oh, he's not a very snuggly person. No. I gotta wash my hands, you grubby little varmint. All right, clean hands. So if you hear a bell, that is him. All right, change of plans. I'm doing it all in the food processor because it says it can. This is the easiest recipe. So butter, sugar, salt, flour. That's it. It needs to look like coarse bread crumbs. So that's what we're going to do here. We got some big chunks of butter still. Now we're cooking. I think it's good. It says. All right, I'm going to grease my pan with my butter. This is unsalted, so I didn't salt it. Salt will help it last longer in the fridge. So pour it into a greased baking dish. You can use round, what have you. Let's spread it out. I thought I was recording this, apparently not. I've decided to do it in like pie shapes. Maybe I'll do smaller ones. This is a special Christmas treat. So I wanted to share with you kind of something. It's been on my brain a little bit. This past fall, as you know, I garden, I grow a lot of my food. We have a milk cow. This is our first year having our own beef. We had our own pork this year as well. It's been like some big milestones as far as growing our own food and being sustainable, and I had dinner. We had friends. We have all kinds of friends. I actually don't have too many homesteading friends. My family's gotten a lot into it, and that's kind of how I have like an outlet there. Now that their interest has been piqued over the last few years, and they're kind of very on board with me. My sister helps milk my cow and all of that, and so it is quite beneficial to have some family that like to do the same thing you do. Gives you kind of an outlet. But we have friends, I like to call my fancy friends, because they live in a bigger city close to us, and nothing huge. It's just Bend, Oregon. It's not like a massive metropolitan area, but is the closest large city to us. And it has like a movie theater and a grocery, like Costco and Walmart and stuff like that. Fred Meyer and they don't garden or they don't grow food. They like to support local, but we had dinner with them. I think it was over the summer, and I had talked to her, and I was like, don't you want to grow food? And she's like, not everybody wants that extreme lifestyle you have. and that it sat with me for months. Like, my lifestyle is, I'm gonna pop this in the oven real quick. That's gonna go for like 35 minutes or so. That's what it says at least. And I've never considered my lifestyle extreme. I considered it the opposite of extreme. Or I see homesteaders on TV who have like no power, and they're washing their hands they're washing their clothes by hand, and all these. I've even been told by the Discovery Network that we weren't extreme enough. After they came to us for a TV show. Like, I have been told these things. We're not extreme. You're not, and relatively, I suppose, yes. But then also, we had some of Trey's family come in, and it was for Thanksgiving, and they had never been out to Oregon, and some of them had never been on a plane, and they came out and stayed with us for over a week, and the expression they kept saying was, oh, my niece, she's 19, and she would go to coffee with my husband, her uncle, and would be like, and he would ask her, you want to we can go to Bend and go get some Starbucks, or we can just have our local coffee shop in our small town. She's like, oh, I can get Starbucks anytime when I'm back in America, or when I get back to America. And we just were dying. We're like, does it really feel like you're not in America? Because we are out here, like, we are isolated, and I don't think we're isolated enough, and I don't think we have enough property, and I want to be more and more and more. But what I guess was brought to my attention from my friend and from my relatives is how far we have come. We're not going out to eat. We go out to eat maybe once a week. We at least probably get something, whether it's getting the kids donuts or stopping by, I don't know, grabbing lunch or grabbing pizza or something, probably once a week, which I still think is too high. But how far we've come is something I don't want to lose sight of. And if you are in my same position, I think it's invaluable and important to look at your lifestyle, or bring in somebody that thinks your lifestyle is extreme, to take appreciation of what you have, because it is special, and it is unique, and it is extreme. And isn't that cool? Like, if you're watching this channel, you obviously have some desire or what have you, or you're a family member of mine who probably thinks my lifestyle is extreme, but you obviously find interest in what we're doing because you watch. And I am bettering my skills to become more and more out of the world's eye of norm. Not intentionally. It was just born. It was just like, it's been in me since I was a little girl. And now that I'm adult and have my own money and my own farm, I can do whatever I want with it. And I always wanted a milk cow, and my mom said, well, you wouldn't milk it twice a day. And I wouldn't have then. I can tell you now, it's hard. Getting up in the morning right now, and it's 3 degrees and it feels like -14. Is not fun. You have to come up with all sorts of strategies so you feel like her teats don't freeze off, you know what I'm saying? Milking two, I do like to wash 2 at a time, milk those out, then you let those go, then you go the next. It's just like, it's what I think is beneficial for her. I don't know if it works, but it feels like it does. So I think I challenge you to look at your own life and think, there's always more. If you're in an apartment, if you're in a townhouse, if you're in suburbia, if you're on 5 acres like I am, and think, I am not there. I am there. I look at bigger homesteaders like Jess or Justin, and you see them having like 20, 30, 40, 50, 70 acres, or bigger homesteaders than that, and you're just like, well, what the freak? Alaska homesteaders that live way out yonder, and you're just like, I am just living like a normal life. But then when you get a glimpse of how people view you, my friend wasn't meaning I was extreme in a nasty way or a mean way. She was just meaning it's so far off the normal path that seems extreme to her or from the outside, because this is not normal life. But 50 years ago, this was. And maybe even longer than 50 years ago now. Shoot, I keep thinking it's like the 1990s or 2000. So 70 years ago it was normal, but it's getting further and further away. My grandfather lived his parents lived like this. And we're just so far away and so dependent on a grocery store. And I think if anything, that is what I've been realizing is, this is going to sound really harsh, but I'm just going to throw it out there. To me, when you are relying on the grocery store for every single need or going out every single night, it feels like a mouse eating cheese out of a trap. If anything, any small maneuver of the economy, of the global food system, of a grocery store chain, of a restaurant chain, if any of those number of things aren't there, where do you get food? And the trap shuts. The trap shuts. Anything happens, you have no access to anything. I don't like that. I don't like that feeling for my family and for myself. And I will like the independence that this lifestyle gives me from the food system. Would we struggle if those things went under? Oh yeah. Do I really like the conveniences of having to go, being able to get butter? I've been having to use, I don't have enough butter saved up now. If I thought this through, and if I was more diligent about doing this, I could have put a bunch of my own butter up throughout this season and not had to rely on the store for excess butter to make other things. And not just save it for really, really special things like the Scottish shortbread for my father or my mother and I to enjoy this holiday season, but I could use it for my thumbprint cookies that I just learned how to make, or my molasses cookies that I make every year, or what have you, you know? So I can always do better, and I have gotten stuck in that rut, and I feel like God has kind of showed me, the Lord has kind of just showed me over the past few months from my friend's comment this fall or late summer about my lifestyle being extreme, to my family coming in and just thinking that we live in a foreign country, or not even thinking, they know we don't. They're not buffoons. They're just, or it just feels so abnormal to them that it feels like a foreign country. What does that say? We live in Central Oregon, in the middle of the boonies, but it doesn't feel like we have boonies. We have neighbors all around, but to people looking from the outside and coming in to experience, not even on the outside, when we bring them into the heart of it, it feels foreign. And that's how far we've come. But anyway, I just wanted to share this experience that I've been going through over the last few months. My nose is obviously healed. I do have a smidgen of a divot, and every once in a while I still get pretty good headaches or my teeth hurt. I think I need to go to the dentist and see if I got teeth cracked. Because sometimes it just feels like still. Like I can feel it a little bit right now, but then it'll go away for a week's time and I forget about it, and then I don't know if it's something I eat or cold temperature makes it hurt. There's no obvious cracks, but you don't know what's going on up top. Anyway, other than that, I'm healing quite well, and I breathe fine, and I just keep praying over my nose, and I feel like it just keeps getting better and better. And there was a point where you could really see you could see a noticeable issue here. And now I don't think you really can, and I can breathe better out of it. So it's a lot of healing that I've been doing. But anyway, when I got my nose broke, I just took a lot of time off of YouTube and just have been really enjoying the holiday season and family coming to visit for the first time, and really put into perspective how far I've come in this life and how far my family's come in this life and how much I love the life I live. And if you have a desire for this, or if you're in my same position and feel like there's always more and more and more, there is always more and more and more. There's always going to be that way. There's too much going on. You get feed production is one thing that we could really use some help with. We need more land. Like, we live in a very dry climate, and with the little amount we have 2 cows, and we did rehome our goats to my best friend, so that alleviated some. And so we have cows, pigs, chickens, and our 2 guard geese, but that's it. Obviously some dogs and cats, but as far as farm animals go, like, we are pretty pared back. My kid is eyeballing me. Mom, how many cookies can we have a day? Tis the season, right? I know, these aren't good cookies though. This is a good sign, because if they don't like something, they let me know. But I am very encouraged in this season. I am thoroughly immersing myself into this holiday. It is such a beautiful holiday and is so incredibly meaningful to our family. And I hope you guys are taking the time to spend with your family and enjoy the small things of making shortbread for your family as a special gift, and enjoying making thumbprint cookies for the first time, or just something special like that. You bark-a-larkin'? Oh, so I don't know if you guys know this about me. I just want to throw this movie recommendation out for you because I'm a movie buff. I don't go see all the garbage that's out there, but I do go see all the movies I'm interested in. I have like the Regal Club Crown card or whatever. It's like 20 bucks a month and you get to go unlimited times. And I make time. That's what I like to do. So, but the last movie I went and saw, I saw with my mom and my dad. And it was called I Heard the Bells. It's the story of Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, I think that's his name. He's the guy who wrote, he's a very famous contemporary American poet, and he wrote the hymn, I Heard the Bells, and the movie is called I Heard the Bells, and this movie is so freaking good that it was almost one of those movies that it was embarrassing to see in theater because of the amount of emotions you have. It was my mom and my dad in the row, and we were in the very back, and I hear this noise. Over and I'm like, Mom, is that Dad? He's like uncontrollably sobbing, and then I start uncontrollably sobbing, and my mom's uncontrollably sobbing, and we're in the theater, and it's like not the proper place to have these type of emotions, but we had them, and then we all start having opposites reaction and just dying laughing also with people there because it's just like an emotional reaction. You don't know what to do, and then you start giggling, and you'd rather be dry heaving crying than laughing. Oh, anyway, it's such a good movie, guys. You gotta go see it. I think it was supposed to be only for like 4 days, but then they keep bringing it back for special showing. So if it's in your area, go and see it. Try and find it somewhere. It is well worth it. It is such a beautiful Christmas story, a true story, and it has a very uplifting message. And if you know the original I Heard the Bells hymn, then it's all the more special. So I'll bring you back when I pull out this shortbread just to show it to you guys, but we won't be trying it today. But I just wanted to share with you. I hope you all are enjoying this wonderful holiday season. It is magical and beautiful, and I hope you get, a lot of you sound like you're getting a white Christmas. I gotta go. I got a hurt kid. He's okay. I'm gonna finish out this video, okay? I'm gonna get going. Enjoy the rest of my cocktail. Cuddle up on the couch with my kiddo to watch The Grinch. Eat some Christmas cookies. But I thank you guys for coming along for this day, or this little snippet into my life. And I just pray that this holiday season blesses you, and that you take the time to cherish it and really plug into your family and the beauty and the lights and the trees and all the things that this holiday season has to offer, and really take time to be present and celebrate the birth of our Savior. So I thank you guys for following along, and I'll see you on my next video, which will be very soon. Bye, guys. Good morning. Ooh, so I am heading out to the ice rink. I wanted to show you guys this. Get at least a clip of it for this video. We got some more snow since it froze over, and it is completely covered in snow. So this is the first year. Okay, it hasn't been getting super cold at night. We're getting down in the teens, but I'm on it. I think it's ready. I'm listening for crack. Ah, like that. It's not ready. It's not ready. It's so close. Right there. I got almost to the other side. But my nieces and nephews are on their way over. And it's got a little bit of give on the outside. I'm just testing. This is, I think, the best rink I've ever built. This is our fifth year. Last year, I think, was one of the worst. It's just me looking for cracks. And you really want to do this before the kids get out here, because if they're skating and fall through, they could puncture the plastic. Found another weak spot. Run away. And obviously the children are much lighter than me. So it's just a good way for Mama to get on here and make sure everything's safe. But this is definitely the best rink I've ever made. And there's another weak spot. Seems like all right, so this half of the rink is deeper, so that makes sense. So I can't even complete my thought because I'm trying to. It might be okay for the kiddies, this side of the rink, because it is not, we can snow shovel it to get closer to the ice, which I will. It's way easier to do on skates, faster at least. This side of the rink, because the ground is not level, so like this side over here is deeper. It's because, so that side is stronger because it's thinner. It didn't need much. This side will ultimately be stronger once we have enough cold. I can hear the edges moving a little bit, and there's a crack right there. Okay, we are so close. I'm not falling through, it's just cracking. There's a little bit they can skate on. I could shovel out where they can go. That way they can still have fun on it today and get some experience. It'll be really good to go by this weekend. If we were having colder days, this would not be an issue, but we're not. So this hockey goal, I have two of them. One is behind that barrel right there. I got at a garage sale for $20, for $20 for the pair. So, which is really awesome. And one of them has like sides to help the puck go in better. The only thing I didn't order, the only thing I had to purchase brand new, well, one is the plastic for this rink. I ordered legit ice rink plastic, which just means it's wider. But years prior, I've just been going to Lowe's and getting what they had, and it's fine. It's worked out, but I can only, without, you need like a foot on each side. And so I could only get about 18 to 20 feet. If it's a 25 foot, 100 by 25 foot, or 100 by 20, depending on what I got, you could only get like 18 feet wide, which this is the widest we've ever had. And I'm not exactly sure on the measurements. And we could have made it longer, but the plastic is way longer than what the box said it was. So we could have went all the way to the garden fence and maybe a little further that way into the road that leads from the pasture back to the road, the real road. And we could have gone, I think, a little better or a little longer, but this is the biggest, widest rink we've had. And that's exciting. And we have the new things, all of our hockey gear. So we don't have any pads or helmets or anything, but the kids would wear helmets when they were little. We have bought a few brand new skates, but all in all, we get them secondhand from thrift stores or Goodwill. But my goals were all free, not free, garage sale. My sticks were garage sale. This can be done and the frame is all logs that were free off my cousin's property down the road. So you could do it for affordably. Here comes my niece and nephews. You girls ready to skate?
Yeah!
Abby May?
Yeah!
You coming to shovel for me?
Yep.
All right. I don't hear any cracking, do you?
Except the noise from the
Yeah. Okay, this is where you need to be careful too. Let's see if you crack. Come on. Yeah, some of the ice sticking up because when I had to fill it over a couple days.
Nothing bad happened.
Just put it on the plastic.
Can't believe I'm doing this.
It's awesome, isn't it? Well, I need to get the fire going and some lights up.